we are focusing on yoga 5 and 5 this evening. So 5-minute breath work with some movement sequences to support our spine health. So we are really excited to have one of our yoga practitioners who has been with our program since its inception. So she will take us through, as we've been saying, something that I think we can all benefit from. Of course, Sue, I'll share my screen.
Yeah, we always love to thank our sponsors. So thank you, Erin, for sharing the screen there. Our education series has just skyrocketed, and we can't do what we do without the support of our sponsors. So thank you to those that are presenting. That's West. And our supporting sponsor is Merck, Daiichi Sankyo, Lilly, Natera, and GSK. Really love that this list continues to grow, because that means that we can bring more and more amazing speakers front and center, experts in their field, right to you. So a big shout out to them.
Absolutely. Yep. So big thanks. We look forward to our events that we will host every month. We have another wonderful event coming up at the end of the month. So as usual, we have our speaker series that will be taking place on June 22nd. It is a Thursday. And this is an event that we stream live over Facebook. So no registration. It will be happening at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And we'll be joined by Dr. Renee Quarterman, who is part of our physician network as well. She's also out of Delaware. And she and I are going to be really tackling some of those lifestyle questions relative to breast cancer. So she'll be answering questions about nutrition. We'll be talking about food and different ways of eating together. She'll be talking about weight. What she likes to call, I don't want to say likes to call, but what she has termed also that post-menopause body, and how things have changed and how lifestyle impacts breast cancer risk and overall health. So really interesting topic. We're excited to dive in with her with some of our questions. And as always, our Ask the Expert series is an opportunity for you to submit those questions ahead of time as well. So we'll pop the link in the chat for you to submit those questions. It's uniteforher.org/ask. But feel free to submit. We'll get through as many as we can. And then I did want to share a little teaser, Sue, because I'm also looking forward to our virtual hangout in July.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So our summer virtual hangout in July is a book club. So for those of you that may know our beauty advisor, Jolene Hart.
First time we've done it.
I know, and I hope it's an annual, but we're highlighting her new book. So Jolene unveiled a new book for us. It's called Well Rested Every Day. So it's part of her Everyday series. And we'll be talking about, the sleep, the tips that she offers, her inspiration, your questions about the book. So I thought I would tease that so everyone has a chance to get their copy of the book. I know mine is on my nightstand, and we'll do some reading, and then we'll have our own little book club together. So that'll be great.
I know, she is dynamic. This is her 6th book.
I know. And I feel like it's Don't Stop Me Now, because she just has been off and running.
So once you read this one, you can go back. Still, one of my favorites is that Eat Pretty Every Day. I love that one, because 365 days, you can pick it up anytime and turn to a page that is in the season. And I just, she is so thoughtful. So very exciting. And we'll also have another author with us who also produced a short series called A Letter to My Sisters. It's a video series. Her name is Dr. Nia Bailey. She's become a really strong supporter of Unite for Her, and really a good advocate, ambassador, sits as one of our advisors, but she wrote a children's book. So we're going to be featuring that children's book, which we thought was really beautifully well done after her own life, really her life lessons that was taught to her by her grandmother. So really sweet. And yeah, it's exciting. July. You sort of stopped me in my tracks there, Erin. I'm sorry. When you said July, I'm like, what are you talking about? We're not going to be teasing it out for July.
I know. But it'll be here before we know it.
I know. All right. Are we ready to bring on yours truly?
Yes, let's.
Catherine, I can bring her front and center.
Perfect. Yeah. So it is my pleasure to bring on one of our registered dietitian team members. She is the most recent to join our team, but she has been a wonderful part of our culinary dietitians. This is Catherine Romero. And as for those that have joined our virtual hangouts in the past, we know that we like to keep it casual. So we often like to start with a mocktail, whipping up something fun in the kitchen and inspiring you to really enjoy the season. So, Catherine, I know you're whipping up something delicious and coconutty, which like just speaks summer to me.
Yeah, hi. Yes, tonight's mocktail is featuring specially coconut water. It's all about the refreshing, kind of hydrating vibe that we're getting, especially right now when we're starting to see a little bit more of the summer coming up. So, today's mocktail is called Rainbow Coconut Water Spritzer. And I'm gonna go over about a little bit about the ingredients that I'm gonna be using today, but it's such like an easy recipe to just put together with whatever you have on the fridge. So I have these fresh here, but you can do them frozen. If you have them, if you have canned fruit, honestly, anything that you have on your fridge, you can basically put it together. The main ingredient though would be coconut water. So if you have that, then you're basically set. And so that being said, I am also going to be putting up the recipe on our blog later. So if you guys really like these ingredients, then it would be posted later. So I went for all of the berries. I love berries. And anytime that we can get our vitamin C, we definitely think of berries and citrus food. So I have blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries, and of course lemon, because anytime I think of anything refreshing or a mocktail or anything similar to that, I always feel like there has to be lemon, either on the drink or just on top of it as decoration. And another nice ingredient that I have here that I feel like it's very into that refreshing in summer is mint. Mint leaves are definitely very refreshing. And I also have, aside from the coconut water, because sometimes coconut water can be a little bit too overpowering. So I also have seltzer water. I have lime, but it could be honestly any flavor. So the first thing that I'm going to start doing to prep my mocktail is going to be just putting the mint leaves, putting a lot of pressure in them. If you don't have, I completely forgot the name of this in English. Erin, I don't know if you can help me
Like
here.
a muddler? Yeah, a muddler.
I guess a muddler. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
I've never even heard of it in English.
So what do you, if I may ask, what do you call it in Spanish?
In Spanish, it's called mortero. That's how we call it in Spanish.
Okay.
So if you have one at home, definitely use it. It's gonna bring up the flavor a lot more. If not, you can just mince it very thinly and kind of put a lot of pressure into it. And then it's gonna start showing up as if it's like a little bit moist. And then that is where most of the flavor is gonna enhance it and make it, that mint is gonna, honestly, I feel like this even smells like toothpaste. And I haven't even done a lot of pressure. So all of that refreshing flavor from mint. If you are not a big mint fan, I definitely am. My favorite ice cream flavor is chocolate chip mint. So I love it. If you don't really like the flavor, don't put too much pressure on it, or you can honestly even skip the mint. So it doesn't look too good, but it will taste amazing. So I'm just gonna put this at the bottom so that everything that I'm gonna put on top of it is just gonna enhance it a little bit more. So our first step is to add some ice. If you have crushed ice or smaller ice cubes or even regular ice cubes would do just fine. And do a little bit of ice. A little bit of everything. So like I said, if you have maybe strawberries, I feel like strawberries are also going to be would work perfectly here. Some peaches, cherries, honestly anything. Oops. There you go. A little bit of color. I'm gonna throw in some
Our healthy version of a sangria.
Oh yeah. That does seem like it. And then now I'm going to add a little bit more ice. Kind of for it. This is more so that it looks pretty. It doesn't have to be in this order. You could just put everything together and it's going to be the same, but it's going to make it look a little bit nicer. So, like I said, our main ingredient today is coconut water. And I'm actually going to use this as our food for thought moment, which is sponsored by Lily. And honestly, coconut water is a really, really nice water to have. So it doesn't hydrate as good as regular water. Water is always best, but it does aid a lot in hydration. So coconut water is very refreshing. It's very high in electrolytes. It has a lot of potassium. It has a lot of sodium and magnesium. So a lot of research studies compare it actually to sport enhancement drinks, kind of like Gatorade, all of that, except that it is like it's more from a natural source and it's still high in those electrolytes. So if you are looking for something that to kind of aid with your water, to add in different recipes, if you feel like sometimes I have sometimes a lot of members where they don't like the taste of water, then honestly even doing like half and half, or if you want to include a little bit of more coconut water into your daily fluid intake, I would definitely recommend it. Unless you have any kidney issues, or sometimes if you're taking some ACE inhibitors, some high blood pressure medication, then I would be a little bit more worried. Don't do all of your hydration not to be coconut water. All of the extremes are not good, but overall, coconut water is definitely going to aid in your hydration, and it's very, very tasty. So coconut water, I did half of the drink coconut water, and then I'm just going to top it off with seltzer water. I'm going to leave a little bit of space. Can you guys hear that? Oh, I love it. All right, so I'm going to just do a little bit of the lime. I am also a really big fan of lemon. So I feel like at this point, I know this is not enough for me, but it would be a good testing point. So if you are doing your own, then I would try it. If you're not very into lemon, I'm gonna mix it a little bit like this. I'm actually gonna do another one. And honestly, I'll share it. I'm gonna put it closer, but it looks so pretty. Like I can see myself doing this, like drinking it by the pool, maybe a picnic, or just honestly
Tell
anywhere.
that Catherine is from Florida. She says by the pool. That is not normal for us out
That
here
is not-
on the East Coast.
I
There,
don't know. Next to the bathtub. I don't know. A little bath, and then you're just like, I don't know, maybe it's warm in the house. You don't have
I'm just
the
teasing.
AC.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here. This is what it looks like.
So pretty.
It's very, very, very pretty. And then let me just try it because it's
Now, Catherine, do you mix all that with a spoon, or it's better to be layered like that?
it's just because I did it in layers. You can mix it with a spoon, but honestly, it's completely fine because I did, yeah. And unless you're making a batch, so the recipe that we're going to post on our blog is for 4 servings. So if you're doing that, then definitely on a bigger. But if you're making just one for yourself, honestly, this is good enough. Very, very, very refreshing, which is the main point that I was looking for this mocktail. So if you are in the heat, and I don't know, in Pennsylvania when that time of the year is, I hope it's soon, because I keep hearing that it's, with the weather, what's going on right now. I hope the summer kicks in soon enough, and then you already have this recipe together, and you just have the ingredients ready, frozen, whatever. It just anything that you have, and it's going to work. Anything's going to work. And yeah, so cheers. And I hope summer comes soon.
Oh, thanks, Catherine.
Yeah, sure.
Wonderful.
I love that.
I know. Always good, right? Always good to have all these mocktails, Erin. I know you are the queen, I say, of mocktails. We have many in our library. So
I'm a
adding
mocktail fan.
Catherine's. Yes, we'll be adding Catherine's to that shortly. Wonderful.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you. That is, I can't wait for summer to arrive because anything with coconut speaks
Speaks to you.
totally. It speaks summer. So I'm looking forward to it. So
All right.
good.
Well, I'm going to bring in our next guest. You want to give a little intro?
Yeah. Oh, I would love to. So we are really excited to have Alison Donley joining us for this evening. So Alison has been practicing and teaching yoga, meditation, and mindfulness for more than 40 years in a variety of settings, studios. She was a former studio owner. She's been with Unite for Her, and she's worked in academia. As a faculty member at Westchester University's kinesiology department, she created the curriculum, the material, the coursework for 3 academic yoga classes. She is certified with mental health first aid training and research background in yoga. She offers private therapeutic yoga sessions and small group instructions through her small business. And out of the cage of studio ownership, she really, truly just loves yoga, working with others, helping them feel the joy and inspiration to move through mindful breathing. Alison, we are super excited to have you with us this evening.
Thank you so much for having me. Thanks for coming, everybody. So my mission for this evening is not so much to show you little routines you can do, although I will guide you through a couple of short ones, but to give you the tools to think about how you might make stuff up all by yourself. 5 and 5 is what I call this, and I came up with the term 5 and 5 when through Unite for Her, as a matter of fact. I don't think I even shared this with Sue, but it was one of the least used modalities at first in the organization, and we were trying to figure out, well, why are people not choosing to do this beautiful breath and movement? And I think there's so much overwhelm that comes along with the cancer diagnosis, and I think that just that idea a lot of people have about what yoga is would be a huge turnoff. Like, I don't have an hour to do yoga. I'm too overwhelmed with making my appointments to the doctor, or going to the doctors, or taking care of kids. There's just so much going on. The thought of like having to carve out an hour to go to a yoga studio and do yoga probably seems daunting, but it's very easy to talk yourself out of doing a yoga practice if you think it's going to take an hour. However, it's very difficult to talk yourself out of 5 minutes. So I started designing little 5-minute routines, and I called them 5 and 5. And when I work, for instance, remotely with a client, I'll say, how are you feeling right now? Sometimes I have little stuffies that I put up. And so the choices would be that, this, Super Grover, or the Stressy Monster. You know, which one do you feel right now predominantly? If somebody picks like low energy, this guy right here, I'm going to meet you where you are, and we're going to start with some low, slow movement. The beauty of yoga, and yoga, by the way, is a state of consciousness. It is not an exercise program. And a lot of what's done in modern yoga and yoga studios, you know, kind of flies in the face of what it really, truly was designed to be. A mindful, a practice that leads one toward meditation, a practice that helps us to become more connected with not just ourselves, but everything around us. And there's this beauty within the philosophy and methodologies of yoga that recognizes all of nature. We've been talking about the weather. So energy is like a weather pattern as well. You know, you can have a high front come in, where you're like, "Ooh, I feel great. I'm going to just get all the things done." And then, you know, the next day, because you overdid it, you've got like low pressure coming in, that kind of thing. So the beauty of a 5 and 5 is if you give yourself permission to feel however it is you feel without saying, "But I should feel this way and I don't." Actually own how you feel and be okay with it. Learn how to stay with it. As Pema Chodron says, learn how to stay. Amazing meditation teacher, Buddhist monk. Then we actually can meet it where it is. And we start with the movement. That is how we're feeling. And with the idea that we want to move in the direction that we want to go. So one of the things that I tend to ask every client is, you know, how do you feel and how do you want to feel? And you guys, when those words are polar opposites, you know that there's some work to be done in creating a sequence that's just right to hopefully get you, if this is low energy and this is high energy. And by the way, low energy is common and normal, but getting stuck in low energy is not. We don't want to get stuck. And then in the middle is the balance. And that's what we all just want to feel balanced. This high energy can be really awesome, like when we're like right about here and we can get all the things done. But when high energy gets stuck here in anxiety and overwhelm and distress, negative or harmful stress, that's when we need to really pull out the tools, because we do not want to get stuck in the high or the low. It's quite lovely, isn't it? Maybe you've been there before. We kind of get stuck in a little bit of a balanced place for a while. So what we're aiming for is balance. Okay, so it's called a 5 and 5 for this reason. We have a brain and a spinal cord. And this central nervous system spreads out into our peripheral nervous system, and it affects everything that we do. And basically, it affects the pharmaceuticals that our brain company are going to put out. So we want to move this body because when we're stuck here, it feels almost impossible to move. When we're stuck here, we need to shake it off. Right? You ever been there where you just want to jump out of your own skin when you're up here? So when we move our bodies in flexion, which is a forward bend, that's one way the body can move. In extension, that's another way the spine is beautifully designed to move. So we have flexion and extension. Doesn't have to be that dramatic of a position, by the way. We have lateral, okay, laterally each side, so that's our third way. We have rotation to each side. That's our fourth way. And then we have elongation of the spine, like being aware of whether discs are being compressed because we're slumping and dumping. I call it slumping and dumping. Yeah, Sue, that was too good. I saw your slump and dump. It was a little too professional. Yeah. So we want to actually, if these are our vertebra and in between are the discs, we want to open up some space in there, because those discs, people often, you know, equate them to like jelly donuts. Well, they're not. And the jelly, if that donut gets smushed, the jelly is nerve and it spills out. We do not want to push on our discs. So just simply elongating your spine is a lovely way to move it. So let's review the 5 ways the spine moves. And in any way you can do it, maybe some of you are sitting in a chair, give a gentle flexion. Okay, now check in. Which part of your breath is easier when you're in flexion? Take a breath in and take a breath out.
Out.
Out, absolutely. That's why in yoga postures, asana, they're called, flexion of the spine is typically when we're exhaling, because it's much easier to exhale in that structure you've just put your body into, right? You're with me? All right. Exhaling creates a parasympathetic response in the body. Exhaling is soothing forward. Therefore, any asana, yoga pose, that bends you forward, promoting a nice deep exhalation, is very soothing for the nervous system. Conversely, any pose that opens your chest up, okay, here's one, okay, from a chair, here's one from a chair. Any pose that opens that chest up, which part of your breath is easier when your chest is open? Go ahead, do a nice big chest opener.
Inhale.
Correct. Okay, so that is considered energizing. So in any asana, yoga pose, done with that deep in breath here, that would be considered an energizer when your chest is open like that. Okay, so we've got the opposites. We've got energizer and we've got soother. Okay, twists in yoga are considered balancing. Okay, so give yourself a nice little spin comfortably. Then we'll work on some form stuff in a second. So twists are considered balancing. Okay, lateral movement is more like flexion over here and extension over here. So that's considered, and you know, however you want to take a lateral stretch. I like to do seesaws, especially if you're in a chair. Feel that lateral movement. So usually lateral poses are considered to be balancing as well, because you've got one, you can breathe pretty easily in and out in a lateral stretch. Okay, so let's review. We've got 5 ways our spine moves: flexion, forward bend, extension, opening the chest, arching. Yep. We've got lateral. And we've got rotation, and we've got elongation of the spine. Okay, you got 5 ways your spine moves. When you move your spine all those ways, you can, over time with practice, improve your muscular strength, your muscular flexibility, which helps you to maintain and sustain your daily acts of living. Muscular flexibility allows you to have a greater range of motion, functional range of motion. And so range of motion is how much movement you have around a joint. Okay, so knee and flexion, knee and extension. The flexibility and strength of those muscles are helping to create that functional range of motion around that joint. And when you lose that functional range of motion, your world gets a little smaller. Okay, and when your posture gets like this, you can't breathe well. And when you can't take deep breaths, all kinds of physiological things happen that are all, you don't want them. Okay. So a 5 and 5 evolved again out of, who has 60 minutes to do a yoga practice? Not even me sometimes, which is why my morning practices are 15 to 20 minutes. And that recognition, watching college students over 25, almost 25 years of teaching academically, watching posture go from fairly normal posture when kids would walk in on day 1 to my last semester watching students walk in on day 1. It's a lot of this. And that just breaks my heart to think that even young people are creating this terrible posture.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I have.
We use a lot of, in therapeutic yoga, I use a lot of scapular stabilization in my 5 and 5s, because most of us need to get our shoulder blades, our scapulas, back where they belong, up against the back of our rib cage, instead of having them tip away. Okay, so are you ready? We're gonna play a little. You wanna play? So what I'm gonna encourage you to do is make some stuff up. I'll offer some suggestions, but I think I will do I think I will do a better job at being a guide for you by allowing you to be you. If the movement that I'm offering doesn't feel right or good, because by the way, some of you might not be able to open your arms like this, but you might be able to open your arms like this, okay? Some of you might not be able to forward bend like this, but you might be able to forward bend like that, all right? And some of you are in a chair, I can see, and some of you maybe are standing. I'm going to offer both things, all right? So generally speaking, I want to say one more thing before we start moving. Motion is lotion. Did you ever hear that saying? I had kind of a surfer dude athlete in one of my classes, and he came in complaining because he had a rough practice the day before, and he said, I can barely move today, Mrs. Donley. I'm like, well, see how you feel when we're done. When he was leaving, he's like this. He's going out the door like that. I said, are you feeling better? And he goes, motion is lotion, Mrs. D. And I'll never forget that kid, and I will never forget that saying, motion is lotion. So the best part of the movement, though, is the deep breathing that we're going to aim to create as we're doing it. All right, so our first 5 and 5 is going to be one for when we're feeling a little bit anxious, okay? All right, so this is a little 5 and 5 for anxiety. All right, we're going to start, and by the way, this is also a 5. There are 5 elements, basic elements, that we think of when we do a yoga practice: earth, water, fire, air, space. Okay, the medical part of yoga, Ayurveda, that's a really important concept. Okay, so if we're doing yoga for anxiety, we're starting with some air and space. Okay, because that's when you feel anxious, you feel very like that. All right, I'm going to stand for this first 5 and 5, yoga for anxiety. You can certainly sit in a chair if you prefer. Okay, show me how you feel with your arms when you're feeling anxious. Make something up. Like you just want to shake it out, maybe. Okay, like you want to go like this. Ah. Okay, make something up. We're all playing together, okay? Yeah, oh gosh, gotta get it out. Okay, or maybe like that. Okay, now let's turn it into something. Let's take the arms and start to kind of circle them a little bit. Okay, now let's slow that movement down a little bit. Let's inhale. And exhale, bring the hands in toward the chest. And now push that away, inhale. And exhale, push back. Yeah, inhale, open. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, push away. And exhale, push it back. Yeah, inhale. Exhale. Doesn't feel good? Make up your own thing. Inhale. Exhale. Yeah, let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Push it back. Inhale. Now add in some flexion. Exhale. Yeah, and when you're in flexion, you guys, moon the wall behind you. Stick your butt back, pull your heart up, keep your spine super long, and try not to drop your head down. Okay, ready? Push off your legs, and let's do it again. Inhale. Yeah, exhale. Inhale. Add a forward bend, exhale. Good. Let's do it again. Inhale, stand tall, open, airy, spacey. Exhale, fiery on that exhale. Yeah, inhale. Add your forward bend, exhale. Good. Let's do it one more time. Inhale, stand tall, sweep the arms, inhale. Exhale, push it back, inhale. And exhale. Stay right here. So some of you might be in a chair. You might be right here. Okay, this is called cow and cat. We're going to inhale and arch the back and look forward. Try not to crease the back of your neck. Exhale, push and round your back and look down. Do it again. Inhale, arch and look up. Exhale. Exhale, round and look down. We're adding some watery and fiery and watery. Inhale. And that breath, that air is right with it. Inhale, arch, look up. Exhale, round, look down. Let's start from the very top. Ready, stand tall, open, airy, spacey. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Like ta-da. Exhale. 2 cat-cows. Ready? Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, stand up nice and tall, arms out like a T. And exhale, bring your hands in. Palming. This all by itself is a yoga trick called palming. It's when you need a little fire. Okay, so next time you think, oh, I need another cup of coffee, try some palming instead. It will not stain your teeth. It's free. Don't have to wait in line, pay $1, whatever it costs now, it's probably more than that. Okay, ready? Let's inhale and open. And exhale, bring your hands towards your heart. Good, and let's start from the top again. Ready? Inhale. Oops, exhale, I forgot my own sequence. Here we go. Inhale, open, yeah. Exhale, bring it in. Inhale, swish it back. Exhale, forward bend. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, all the way up. And exhale, palming. Good, now we're gonna add some flowy, watery movement. Inhale, open the arms out. Exhale, take a lateral stretch. Call this a seesaw. Inhale, back to the center, flip your palms up, keep your spine elongated. Exhale, lateral to the other side. Beautiful, you guys. Inhale. Now twist it to one side. As you're standing, as you twist, can you press your arms kind of back a little bit so the heart stays up and the scap stays stabilized? As you're in a chair, keep those feet pushing down. Okay, let's inhale, sweep the arms back. Exhale, take your twist to the other side. Good, again, inhale, open. Exhale, twist it. Inhale, open. Exhale, twist it. Good. Inhale, open. Exhale, take your hands to your legs and fold forward. It might be right like that. Might be in the chair. Come down if you can to your forearms. Let your neck release down. Okay, so if you're standing up, it might look like this. Now feel how easy it is to breathe out here. And some of you who practice yoga might even be able to forward bend even more deeply. I'm going to change my camera angle just a tad. You might be able to forward bend a little bit more deeply. Maybe put your hands on something, a chair. Okay, now safe and sound. Walk yourself up. So if you're using a chair to fold forward a little more deeply, walk up. And stand tall, and let's inhale. And exhale, bring our hands to our heart. Okay, so that's just a little example of a 5 and 5 for when you're feeling really anxious. So you think of anxious energy, a lot of airy spacey, you make stuff up. Sometimes I turn my house into like a gym. I'll walk down the steps. Oh, there's the banister. I'm going to do a little 5 and 5 up against the banister holding on. Okay. Anywhere works. Instead of playing the piano, you can play on your piano. Okay. Making up that movement that moves your spine the 5 ways. Gets you thinking about your breath a little bit, more intensively, so you're expanding that breath, okay? So the calming of the mind that comes with yoga is more from the breathing that we do in yoga. And I want to just say this, it takes usually a good few months of solid, regular yoga practice before the breath makes sense with the movement. There's nothing wrong with you to catch yourself holding your breath. One of the great gifts of a regular yoga practice is you'll catch yourself, for instance, do you ever catch yourself and you think, oh my gosh, I was not breathing at all right then? Shake your head yes, if you've ever noticed that happening. Like all of a sudden you realize, oh my gosh, I was not breathing at all. Okay? When you practice yoga regularly, you will catch that right away. All right? And you bust into a yoga trick right away. Like, oh, all right, I need to expand my breath. Okay, next thing we're going to do is a 5 and 5 for when you're feeling angry. Have you ever felt angry before? I have a great story about an angry yoga practice one time where I was working with a client who came in for her regular session and she was very angry and she was stomping all around. And I said, are you okay? And she told me this hysterical story about how her husband was mad that she didn't make tartar sauce for the fish the night before. And so we named the yoga practice something fun that would go along with tartar sauce. And we turned that anger into a little practice, and it started out with angry walking. Have you ever done angry walking? My mom used to do angry walking. Okay, so it might just be like kind of like in place. You're just kind of stomping. Maybe you're in a chair. Okay, you don't say I shouldn't be angry. You say I'm angry. I'm going to deal with it. Okay, another way would be maybe beating on a pillow. That's bringing some movement to your anger. Anger is an energy, and when we put it to good use, it's amazing what we can do with it. All right, so let's do another thing. What is anger, by the way, in terms of the elements? Anybody want to guess which element is most closely related to anger?
Fire.
Absolutely. So let's meet fire with fire. Okay, go ahead, make something up for your next 5 and 5. Make it up. You can stomp, you can tap on your legs, you can beat on a pillow, you can do palming, because palming is the perfect little yoga trick for fire. And just like the wildfires that are burning and causing all this smoke we're talking about, firefighters are trained to meet that fire sometimes with fire. How they contain it. So we're meeting fire with fire. Okay? Next thing we're going to do is try to put some of that fire out. Okay? Let's put a little bit of water on it. Let's inhale and sweep the arms up. And exhale, bring the hands in. Inhale, sweep the arms up. This is also kind of airy and spacey, but it's nice and fluid, and bring the hands in. Inhale, ta-da, I call this a lot. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, up toward the sun, and exhale, back to the heart. Do it again. Inhale, ta-da, and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale to the sky and up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's go back to our palming, but make it a little lighter, less fiery. Okay, rub a little imaginary lotion into your hands. That'll get you paying attention. Okay. Now we're gonna take some really modified sun salutations. We'll inhale and sweep the arms up. Yeah, and exhale, fold forward into forward bend. Inhale, pull your heart up, but keep your neck long. Exhale, round your back into cat. Inhale, pull your heart up, but keep your neck long. If you're in a chair, that's fine. Exhale, fold forward a little. Good. Now inhale, come all the way back up to upward stretch. And exhale, bring your hands in. Good. So we got a little bit of flexion. We got a little bit of extension. All right. And the next thing we're going to do is open our arms out. Good, and step it wide. If you're in a chair, that's okay. Just step it wide. Okay, like that. All right, let's take our arms out like a T if it feels okay, and if it doesn't, put your hands on your waist. Take your right toes to the right and take your left toes and turn them in a little. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the arms up. This is called warrior. Exhale, stay in place. Learn how to stay. Deep breath in. And exhale. One more. Deep breath in. Now take your right hand to your right thigh. Take your left hand to your left waist and tip it toward that thigh a little bit. So those of you who are standing, you can take your forearm on your thigh if you have that kind of mobility. And this is called side angle. It's a great lateral stretch. Let's inhale and take the arm up. And exhale, take the arm down. Add a little rotation of the spine. Inhale, take the arm up. If something doesn't feel good, it's not good. Don't do it. Exhale. One more. Inhale, take the arm up. Now push off of that right thigh. Come back to your warrior two. Good. And let's turn to face the center. Let's all put our hands on our waist. Inhale, open, get some extension. Lift your heart and look up, but do not crank the back of your neck. Exhale, fold forward a little bit. Good. Take a nice watery and airy cat-cow. Inhale to cow pose. Exhale to cat pose. Do it again. Inhale to cow pose. And exhale to cat pose. Inhale, come all the way up. And take your left toes all the way out to the left. Take your right toes in, whether you're in a chair or you're standing. Warrior two. Drop your shoulders down out of your ears and stabilize those scapulas against the back. Lengthen your low back and lift your heart and breathe. Good. Take one more full breath in and out. Look out over your left fingers if you can, pretending you have a mirror balanced on your fingers. Look for your neck in it. Look for your neck in the mirror. Good. Let's inhale and sweep it up a little. And then exhale, come down into your side angle on this side. Open up that right rib cage and breathe. Fill up the position with your breath. Yoga poses or asana are just postures we get into to expand our pranayama, our breath. Okay, inhale, sweep up to warrior two again, and exhale, come back. Cat-cows one more time. We're not learning a bunch of new poses tonight. Exhale, round. Cat-cows don't feel good. Make something up. Exhale, round. One more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, come all the way up and exhale. Okay, check in with your breath. Okay. Let your natural breath start to take over. And one of the great things that we do when we work one-on-one with a client is we will invite somebody to notice how they're breathing at the beginning of a practice. And if someone's feeling anxious, where's the breath usually when you're feeling anxious? Point on your body where you notice your breath is stuck when you're feeling anxious. It's almost always stuck up here, short, shallow breathing, okay? When somebody's feeling really sluggish and depressed, sometimes the breath is mostly exhale because there's often this is happening too. So when you meet your energy where it is, you move your spine 5 ways. You expand your breathing in those poses. They don't even have to be, like if you picked up a manual of yoga poses, they don't have to be like that. You can make up your own movement that feels good to you. But keeping in mind that it's about the breath. It's about expanding the breath as you're in these postures. Okay, so that was just an idea of 2 little 5 and 5s that we did together. There are I'll quick just show a couple things. There are so many things you can do. Toe raises, okay, for strengthening your gastrocs, keeping your legs strong. Using coffee table, dining room table for forward bending. Opening and twisting, holding on to something, but making it go with your breath. Lateral stretching. You can do it anywhere in your house. Give yourself 5 minutes. I promise you, stop and you honor yourself, how you're actually feeling. You think about how you want to feel, and you start to think in terms of elements, working toward the element that's going to get you more balanced. You're going to feel so much better, but your natural breath is also going to be sustained as deeper breathing for a while. That is the greatest gift of yoga, is the deeper breathing that you can create from doing the movement. When you're super exhausted and can barely move, you can do yoga when you're in your bed. A simple little idea, laying in bed, just get your arms moving. Think of the breath as having a beginning, a middle, and an end, and the movement having a beginning, middle, end. Get enough movement so you feel like you can maybe pull a knee in, another knee in, moving side to side. Just move. Just start moving. Get your breath deep and fluid, and then you'll find yourself sitting at the edge of the bed, setting an intention for the day, I hope. Feeling a little bit more vibrant. So boy, that's me trying to fit like a lot of information in a short time. But how do you feel after doing that? And do you have any questions for me? Feel free to fire some questions at me if you have any. You breathing a little bit better?
Alison, I can't get over how I feel so much better. Like just 5 minutes, so much better. It's great.
Good.
Yeah, I love it. It's a good reminder.
You can do it, you guys. You can do it. Don't allow your mind to take over and say, nah, we're not moving right now. Your body is designed for movement. If it was designed to sit on sofas all day, this would have been our posture from the get-go, right? We'd have come out of the womb like that. Yeah.
Alison, you do have a couple questions. So one was if you could just go over the 5 movements again. I know people were writing notes, so that would just be great if you could say those 5 again.
Mm-hmm. Flexion of the spine. So like when I work with people, this might be a plan A, forward bend. Okay, using almost creating traction. This might be a plan B, forward bend. This might be a plan C, and this might be a plan D. This might be a plan E, right? So everyone, one size never fits all. Flexion of the spine. Bridging is a extension of the spine. Okay, this is a bridge. This is cobra. This is cobra against a coffee table. I love this. This is one of my favorite poses.
So good.
Anything that extends the spine. This is an extension. This is an extension. Okay, so got flexion, bending forward. Exhale. Extension, opening the chest, arching. Inhale. Okay, you got lateral, right and left. You've got rotation, right and left. And you have elongation. That requires a lot of muscle. To elongate your spine requires that we use some muscle that we don't use if we're slumping and dumping. Okay, and remember your scapular stabilization, you guys. This is a great little trick. Try it. Fingers on your shoulders if you can do it. Lift your heart, elongate your spine. Feel your hip and pelvis move into neutral. Now take a little half of an elbow circle. Now take a deep breath in that. Does it feel safe to do? And then let your arms float down, but keep your spine elongated. There you go. You don't need to buy a posture corrector. You got it right there for free. Okay, so that's the 5 movements with a little enhancement, sorry. It is doable, Gloria. Yes, it is. You can do it.
There was one about belly breathing.
So this is belly breathing. When you're new at this, it's just don't get all freaked out about the breathing. Breathe as deeply as you can. One of the little things I use is this Hoberman sphere to have people understand that your breath is multidimensional. It's not just going up and down in your lungs. It's going out. It's going down, it's going forwards, going backward, just back into your kidney area. When you can feel your breath just a little more expanded as you breathe in, and you can feel your ribs moving, go for that. Then you're really into this whole yoga practice thing. Oh my goodness, there's so many cool avenues you can go down and expand your knowledge and become very adept at the practical part of the knowledge, like actually putting it to use, but not right away. So just think expansion. When your breath is really truly expansive, you're going to feel the belly come out. You're going to feel the collarbone lift and open. You're just going to feel things in there when you're doing good expansive breathing. That was a great question. Any other questions for me?
I think you got them all, Alan. Yeah, I have to say I have I'm going to share a little bit. I have memories of when you helped me. So Alison was my dear friend that helped me during my cancer diagnosis 19 years ago. And it was literally, Al, I think we only did 5 minutes. I think we only did 5 or 10 minutes. It was nothing crazy and it was doable. And I felt empowered and control. And I think one session, you just had me breathing and you told me to, envision Darth Vader, and even just having those visuals just helped me so much to get the negative chatter out of my head and move and feel like I was in control. And it just is amazing what you can do in 5 minutes. So you reminded me of that today, Alison. I love it. I love it so much. Thank you.
Of course. Yeah. And whatever can get you to mind yourself of how you feel connected. The most connected I pulled this up from upstairs. It's very bleached out. I have it on a bulletin board, but this has all the elements. This is a place in Crested Butte, end of June, about 10 years ago. The skies were getting ready to open up on my husband and I were hiking. And I'm like, I have to stop. I have to breathe deeply. And I thought, I'm going to take a photo of that. And it has all the elements. The earth is there. The fire's up in the sky, the wind and the space and the mountainous, mountain range. Everything was there. When you feel balanced, there's that incredible spacious feeling where you feel so connected. And that's what we're missing too much in our lives. When we make our lives, when we kind of close in. And COVID did a big number on so many people to kind of close us in. Yeah. So yeah, 5 minutes. It's magic. It's really magic. I've had so many students over the years say, this is magic. I can't believe how much different I feel. It is magic, but it's your magic.
So good. Well, remember, for all of you that are passport holders too, you can have a little of Alison's magic right at your fingertips, and you could use your passport square. And she would be able to, have a one-on-one with you virtually, just like what we did today. Like, it is magic. Yeah, for sure. So just
and it is your magic. So I would love to work with you, but it's your magic that I'm going to
Yeah, for sure. Great point, Alison. Well, that was fantastic. I know Erin and I were side texting, just saying, okay, we don't want to do any type of weight bearing exercise tonight. We want to do yoga. Which could be both. But it was great.